It is your boy T with another Have You Seen That with T movie review, and today I am reviewing White Men Can't Jump. So Hulu just dropped White Men Can't Jump this morning, and I got a chance to check it out. And of course, I was a huge fan of the original Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes White Men Can't Jump movie in 1992. One of my favorite basketball movies of all time. But this movie is an update, of course. We are in the age of remakes. And a lot of times I really feel like they do the movie a disservice by titling them the way they do, House Party. If it had just been another movie about two kids throwing a house party, it would have probably done a lot better. But when you slap that title on it, a title of a beloved franchise in any genre, it really, I feel like it hurts the movie more than it helps the movie because you got old guys throwing their fist up in the air saying, "Why are you rebooting my favorite movie?" From that's like if somebody would reboot The Last Dragon. It's probably going to be a far superior movie because The Last Dragon wasn't a great movie, but at the time, it's that childhood, that inner child in you. You want to hold on to those memories of the fun times you had watching those movies. I went and saw White Man Can't Jump with my mom and my sister, and that's a time that I can't get back, or that's the time I'll never get back, is when we were young, just enjoying this movie way back when. And this movie was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought Jack Harlow was fantastic in his role. He didn't play a character named Billy Hoyer. I'm glad they didn't name them the same names. But in the original White Man Can't Jump, that movie dealt with a lot of like gambling addiction. Like I think Woody Harrelson's character, Billy Hoyd or Billy Hoyle, um, he had a huge gambling addiction, which really led him down a dark path, which kind of took away from the movie for me. Watching it now, it's really painful to watch. What he went through. Losing Rosie Perez because he just couldn't get his gambling addiction in check, and he chose the addiction over the love of his life or the person that he thought he was supposed to be with. And she just left him because who wants to really put up with that? But in this movie, it really dealt a lot more with mental health issues, especially mental health issues in the Black community, which is always a welcome addition to any movie that we have where we actually, uh, do talk about those stigmas, do talk about the mental health. The movie doesn't really wrap it up because I don't think at any point in time we actually see him go to therapy, which is a huge stigma in the Black community, is Black men going to see a therapist, not wanting to talk to strangers, especially strangers who might not be Black, who might not be, the same ethnicity as the person who needs to go see them. But this movie really does dive into that. Cinco Walls plays, a disgraced high school basketball prospect who was supposed to go, high in the draft, but got arrested, a senior in high school because of a very Detroit Pistons-esque, brawl in the stands. And that kind of derailed his NBA hopes and dreams, or his college basketball hopes and dreams. And he meets Jack Harlow's character, who was kind of off, kind of on the same path. He blew out his knees. He was supposed to have played for Gonzaga, and he blew out both of his knees. He had a ACL tear in one of his knee or one of his legs, and his career has never been the same since. And he's trying to just, for the love of hoop, he's just trying to do his best to keep up that dream of making a G League and hopefully making it to the league. And he's trying to just make money. He spends a lot of time, taking painkillers, trying to get over the hump. And of course, one of those devastating injuries, it really dives into the fact that, a college basketball player, they have that devastating injury. They don't have the luxury of having millions of dollars worth of, medical coverage in order to get them back into the game like it would be if he had made the league. They would have figured out new ways of fixing all of these things for him, and making sure that their investment is taken care of. But at college level, you get what you get. Then they go about their business recruiting the next class. But of course, the that all sounds heavy. That all sounds very heavy, but the movie is very lighthearted. It's very funny. Vince Staples, plays, one of Central Wall's friends in the movie, and he's hilarious. The two friends, I can't remember the guy's name, and they're just funny. Every scene that they're in, they're just telling jokes. And towards the end of the movie, when the credits started rolling, I saw Kenya Barris's name on it, and it all makes sense. Because, of course, White Men Can't Jump, a lot of race jokes, and it had just Kenya Barris's type of humor written all over it. He was one of the co-writers on this movie, and it really does make sense because it is definitely a lot of racial jokes in it, but they're really, to me, they're funny jokes, though. I think like none of them go over the top. There's one line where Jack Harlow says this guy, he's at a park in LA and he's like, man, tell me this guy doesn't look like Malcolm X. And they pan the camera on the guy and he looks exactly like him, but everybody's just looking at him like he just told the worst racist joke ever. And it was hilarious because the guy, like, he looked exactly like with the glasses and everything. And that's the one joke I'll spoil from the movie, but it's a funny movie. It's on Hulu. It won't cost you anything to check it out, so it definitely is worth a watch this weekend. Just definitely don't expect Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson anywhere in the movie. This is a movie all in its of its own, and it just stands on its own two legs. Both characters, Jack Harlow was great, Central Walls was great. They were both just every character. Tiana Taylor was in this movie, and she was fantastic. As Central Wall's wife. And it was just a really good movie. It's a well put together movie. It's a well thought out movie. They kind of thought through a lot of things in order to make it somewhat realistic, as realistic as a movie can get. But once again, I think the characters really shine through. I think that's what made the first movie stand out was Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. These two characters don't have that type of chemistry that those two guys had. They had a really good chemistry, and I just really think that Jack Harlow, man, the guy might just be a jack of all trades because he does everything. He's a pretty good rapper, pretty good basketball player, and he's a pretty good actor. I thought he did really well acting in this movie. He might have been playing himself in the movie, but I mean that's better than being a piece of wood standing up there and pantomiming and delivering your lines like Vin Diesel did in Fast 10. So so that's always a step in the right direction. But definitely check out White Men Can't Jump this weekend on Hulu. It's definitely worth your time. You'll get a good laugh out of it, and it's a pretty good movie, and there's some good basketball played in the movie as well. All right, until next time, catch you later.